So we're here in the WiT Studio with David Liu, Chief Customer Experience Officer at Klook. David, thank you so much for doing this.
Okay, glad to be here.
Yeah, pleasure to have you here. I want to start by asking you, and I didn't do this on purpose. Like it's a slightly darker question. Travel is a volatile industry. Like weather, pandemics, geopolitical risk, supplier failure sometimes. Now, how does Klook build resilience into the customer experience sector in such an unpredictable landscape?
I think what's important to the customers is the flexibility that we're providing them.
Right.
So that's the policies we have, right? The cancellation and amendments.
Right.
We're able to work with the merchants to provide a very flexible policy to the customers, whereby you can always make the change. So if anything unpredictable happens, it's okay for you to, let's say today we're in somewhere, we book a tour for tomorrow, you can still cancel it even before the night. So by providing this flexibility, I think we're able to cover most of the situations you just mentioned. Now that's one. The other thing is we actually have a team who is monitoring all the happenings around the destinations we have. So we have a team watching, Hong Kong TV forecast to see whether there's a typhoon. And when that happens, we actually reach out to the customers actively. So before even the customer know there's a typhoon, we know already. We're all prepared. We're prepared with the merchants. So just in case it hits a signal 8, let's say that's the very high signal that everything is to be cancelled, we actually cancel the trip for the customers. And we also give them the options to say if you want to go this another day. So by providing the flexibility and also actively monitoring all this for the customers, we're able to cover most of the cases that we can still let the customer have control of what they need to do.
Right. So you sort of preempt that the customer might be feeling a bit nervous, might not want to travel a certain place or do certain things.
So we're thinking ahead of the customers, right? We know how it's being feel like in the situations where there's a typhoon tomorrow, and we know it's going to either cancel or reschedule. And sometimes we provide suggestions to the customers to say, it's a typhoon, the tour is cancelled, but the museum is open. You can just go there. Things like these.
Right. So every year there are new customer behavior trends that shape the market, right? That shape the market in the region. So what is a growing trend that you think everyone should keep an eye on, that you are keeping an eye on as the Chief Customer Experience Officer, that's going to sort of get bigger in the coming year?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. What we have observed recently is we have this travel pulse survey where we ask our customers about their behaviors. About a third of the customers are telling us now their travel is centered around one event, and that's the starting point of the travel. So let's say you're going to Osaka for G-Dragon, you go to there for the concert and you have 3 days. The rest will be this spontaneous trip. So number one trend is one event has been becoming this leading factor of why customers are traveling, and for the rest of the time, they're just planning on the spot. So for example, F1 in Singapore, foreigners coming for the weekend just for the F1, 2 days, very good. And then you have about 3 more days to do. Then what else can you do in Singapore? Now it's time you start to explore, and more and more of the users are actually doing this. And that's also where we are helping them. We're very flexible of booking even the next day, trips you can have. So yeah, that's what we see from the customers.
Right. I remember seeing those packages when Taylor Swift was in Singapore.
Yeah.
Right, and Klook's packages, and then you had like the other things that they could do and visit while they were here.
Come with hotels and other things to do, F&B and all those kind of things.
Right. What role does AI play in customer experience?
Oh, that's a big question. I can break this down to several parts. One is definitely the content we're providing to the customers. Not only the content in the customer's language, also all the languages that we have. So AI can help governance the content that the merchants are providing to us, and we are using AI to translate these content into all the languages possible, and we're making sure that the translation is good. That's number one of the AI. Now it's the discovery and inspiration stage, definitely Gen AI plus predictive AI. Working together can do a very good job of understanding users, providing recommendations that fit to their interests and needs and all that. So that's the second part. Now when it comes to customer service, then definitely everyone is using AI to do customer service. We do this of 2 parts. One is for some of the questions that's easier to answer, AI can almost just take over and answer questions. For the harder ones that definitely needs human to cater to the customers, we use AI to help the humans. So it becomes an AI assistant to our agents, whereby they can leverage on the AI power to serve the customers better.
Right.
And then after that, that's the review. I think this is very interesting. We use AI to analyze the reviews and try to find out the patterns and areas of improvement of the services, and we share this with the merchants. So it's not only us looking at the customer reviews, the merchants are also looking at the customer reviews. So we're helping the merchants to become better, hence they're helping our customers, hence we're all together creating this better customer experiences as a community. And I really love how we're sharing this to the merchants. I think it's a very good thing to do.
Right. I guess this sort of explains or answers my next question, but how do you guarantee accuracy when it comes to AI, right? So when it comes to like language, it's okay, but maybe translations or customer feedback. But what about in things like refunds, cancellations, emergencies? Where does the human get into the loop and then help the AI and go like, no, I don't think that's right?
Yeah. Okay, short answer, there's no guarantee, which is the difficulty. So we have built this tiering system where we can decide where to use AI and where to use human, depending on why the customers are here and when they're here. So for example, you are a month ahead of your trip, you're asking whether you can bring something into the theme park. It's not so urgent and it's not so critical. We can use the AI to give a try and answer the questions. Even if it goes wrong, it's not too bad. And we have a feedback system here where the customer can tell us whether the AI is answering the question or do they need more information, and we keep track of this answer. So let's say 3 times the customer says the AI is not helping, then we know it's the time where the human should come in. So that's the less urgent, less critical ones. Now the other extreme would be, let's say you're calling right now to the bot and saying, I book a car, I'm at the airport, the driver is not showing up. This is too urgent and it's too risky to let the AI handle this. So immediately we'll transfer this inquiry to the agents whereby they can come in as a human. Of course, the AI will be helping them backstage, so we can sort of differentiate different scenarios. So we're trying to do a better job of test and learn how to mix all these different inquiries, but that's the concept.
Right. So when you were chief product officer, you said that innovation is not always sexy and big. How do you apply that mindset in today's age of AI when everything is big, bold, and it's evolving so fast, right? So is that something that you still say today?
Well, I think the fundamentals are the same, right? AI, of course, has made a lot of things possible, and I can see where we can build even further with the power of AI. But if we look at this from the customer's angle, what they need are still more or less the same. Now, I see technology as a mean of reaching the objectives, right? It can be AI, it can be something else in the future. I don't know what new technology will come out, but many of the times these tools are helping us do our jobs better, serve the customers better, giving them more information, help them when they're needed. So I think still the statement still is true. Not every test and learn is sexy, and AI is the same. AI is just a tool that we use to serve the customers better.
Right. So the fundamentals remain even if the technology and the tools are, bombastic.
I mean, we can do this better and quicker, but the foundations will be the same.
Awesome. What is your customer experience roadmap in terms of like customer experience itself, right? What comes first and then second and then third? Like, is there a priority process in how to approach a customer?
There are 2 buckets. One is the unhappy customers. These are the higher priorities because imagine you book a trip from any of the platform, you're there, the tour guide doesn't show up. This is extremely bad and it's going to ruin everything for your trip. Now, trip is actually a very big thing for many of the users. They save up, they have the time with the family, they need this to be perfect. So our number 1 priority is actually making sure that these things don't happen to them. So making sure that we're reliable, turning unhappy customers to at least not unhappy. It's okay, it's reliable, it's working. So that's the first step. Now moving from there, this is actually what we've been focusing on for the past 2-3 years. Back then, a lot of things are not perfect. Right now, we're trying to get them to at least an acceptable point. So from this time now on, right, in the future is how to create this, what we call aha moments to the customers. Because once this is working, it's reliable, then how do you get the customers to stay with you and how do you get them to be, remember you next time they go on the travel? We start to build the small things, feasible, quick, but that's going to bring the aha moments to the customers. So that's the next step, to make the neutral to happy and make sure that the customers are good with us. For example, the thing I mentioned, weather conditions, we can help you cancel your booking and we can recommend something else to you, or there are other things we can do. We're trying to figure out what to do in the next 3 to 4 years, and that's our roadmap.
Right. That aha moment that you mentioned is so interesting because it looks like something that's growing in as a theme in today's conference at WiT Singapore, and also in previous conversations we've had this idea of people are looking for vibes more
Yes,
now.
totally. Yes,
More than solid or tangible experiences. They're looking for a feeling.
Yeah, of course, the starting point would be you are able to join the experiences, but what the customer is taking away is how I felt and whether this is, let's say, Instagrammable, the memories, the moments I had with my family and friends, and so I can, go to tell my other friends that this is so fantastic.
Right. Okay, so Klook operates in markets all over the world, right? So how does customer demand differ from market to market? Is it different? Is it the same? Is the approach like a universal thing?
I think largely how the customers plan for the trips are more or less the same. They get inspired, they go look for things to book and things to buy. They make the booking, they go there to participate, they share their review, right? This is more or less the same. But across different regions, there are things that are different. For example, how you want to log in your account, it can be different from different regions. In China, it would be WeChat. In Korea, it would be Kakao. In Japan, this could be Line, and so on and so forth. And next thing is the payment. Especially for Asia, many of the countries have their own payment system, the wallets and everything. That's quite different, and we've spent a lot of efforts into supporting this for them. So that's the second is the payment. The third is I think in the destination when the customers are looking for things to do, different users from different regions tend to have slightly different preferences. For example, a user from US could be looking for cooking class, spas, things of activities, and whereas someone from Singapore could be looking at photography activities or just the dining experiences. Right. This is also why we're spending more resources on building this second, third, fourth tier supplies. So make sure if it's the second, third, fourth time you go to the same destination, there's always something for you to discover. So that's how our supply team is working right now.
Right. So last question that I want to ask, if you could solve one challenge in the customer experience journey or funnel, what would it be and why?
In travel, I would say it's still the reliability of the fulfillment.
Reliability.
Because this is too important. It's the end point of everything. If you stuck there, the entire thing will just fall apart. And there's no way you can do this to 100%. There's always something going to happen. So how do we make sure that we're almost ultimately nearing the 100 point is our goal. But still, we're on the way.
Right. David, this has been very insightful. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
All the next 2 hours,